Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Football Hypes, and in this video I'm going to be showing you 10 centre backs that you need to sign in Soccer Manager 2022. But before we jump straight into the video, make sure you smash a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and do not forget to turn that notification bell on to never miss one of my videos. But let's get straight into today's video. So taking a look at the first centre back we have on the list, and that is Anel Ahmedhodzic. He has a rating of 67 and plays for Malmo in the Swedish league. He can only play as a centre back, has a value of 8 million. His preferred role is a stopper. He's 22 years old and is a right-footed centre back. His chemistry isn't too bad, and his potential is anywhere between 74 and 94, which I think is unbelievable considering his value. Now, taking a look at his attributes, his best attributes are pace and strength, which are two crucial attributes in a centre back, and I would definitely say that this guy is worth signing. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Igor Julio, who has a rating of 70 and plays for Fiorentina in Serie A. He plays as a centre back, a left back, and a defensive left midfielder. He has a value of 8.5 million. His preferred role is a stopper. He's 23 years old and is a left-footed centre back. His team chemistry isn't too great, but he has a potential anywhere between 72 and 92. Now, his best attribute is aggression, which isn't always a good thing because being aggressive is a recipe for disaster. But other than that though, I would say this player is definitely worth signing. He's young, he's got good potential, and he's relatively cheap. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Sebastian Coates, who has a rating of 77 and plays for Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league. He can only play as a centre back, has a value of 12 million, and his preferred role is a stopper. He's 30 years old, which isn't too young, and he's a right-footed centre back. He's got pretty decent chemistry, and considering his age, he's more or less around his peak, so he's not developing or declining, which isn't a bad thing. Now, he's got good leadership and aerial ability, and I would say that leadership is a very important attribute in a centre back because you want a centre back that can lead from the defence, and Sebastian Coates offers that quality. So if you want a centre back that has good leadership skills, I would say Sebastian Coates is definitely a player worth signing. Moving on to the next player we have on the list, and that is Umar Solet, who has a rating of 56 and plays for RB Salzburg in the Austrian league. He can play as a centre back as well as a defensive midfielder and has a value of only 2.75 million. His preferred role is a stopper. He's 21 years old and is a right-footed centre back. Now, his team chemistry isn't all that, but he has a potential anywhere between 74 and 94, which is mind-blowing considering his value is only 2.75 million. Now, his best attribute is aggression, which again, too much aggression can cause a bit of trouble, but considering this guy's value and potential, signing this player is a no-brainer. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Felipe Morato, who has a rating of 53 and plays for Benfica in the Portuguese league. He can play as a centre back as well as a central defensive midfielder. He has a value of 4.75 million and his preferred role is a stopper. He's 20 years old and he is a left-footed centre back. Now, his chemistry isn't all that great, but he does have a potential anywhere between 70 and 90, and his best attribute is aggression. Now, he's another one of these players that don't cost much, but can go on to become something special. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Garcia, who has a rating of 72 and plays for Barcelona in La Liga. He can only play as a centre back, has a value of 15 million, and his preferred role is a ball-playing defender. I mean, you don't see much of those. He's 20 years old and is a right-footed centre back. His team chemistry isn't too great, but he does have an unbelievable potential anywhere between 82 to 99. His best attributes are strength and aerial ability, which again are two very important attributes in a centre back, and I would say that Garcia is definitely worth signing considering he has one of the best potentials in the game. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Panagiotis Retsos, who has a rating of 72 and plays for Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. He can play as a centre back as well as a left back and a right back, so he's pretty versatile in that defence. He has a value of 13 million and his preferred role is a stopper. He's 22 years old and is a right-footed defender. Now, his chemistry isn't too great, but he does have a potential anywhere between 72 and 88. Taking a look at his best attributes in aggression and crossing, considering he can play in both fullback positions, it's always good to have a crossing attribute, but I would say that Retsos is a player worth having in your squad considering how versatile he is. Moving on to the next centre back we have on the list, and that is Gonçalo Inácio, who has a rating of 65 and also plays for Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. He can play as a centre back as well as a left back. He has a value of 8.5 million and his preferred role is a ball playing defender. He's only 19 and is a left-footed centre-back. His chemistry is pretty poor, but he does have a potential anywhere between 74 to 94. His best attribute is concentration, and concentration is a very important mental attribute to have. And overall, I would say that Inácio is another one of those young players worth signing with great potential. Moving on to the second last centre-back we have on the list, and that is Kaiki Melo, who has a rating of 57 and plays for Santos in the Brazilian Serie A. He can only play as a centre-back. He has a value of 6 million and his preferred role is a stopper. Now keep in mind that he is one of the youngest players in the game, aged 16, and he's a right-footed centre-back. His chemistry is relatively okay and he has a potential anywhere between 72 to 92, and his best attribute is aggression. Now Melo is a young talent that does have the potential to become a world-class centre-back. And moving on to the last centre-back we have on the list, we have Josko Gvardiol, who has a rating of 67 and plays for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga. He can play as a centre-back as well as a left-back. He has a value of 9.75 million and his preferred role is a ball-playing defender. He's 19 years old and is a left-footed centre-back. Gvardiol's chemistry isn't too great, it's quite poor, but he does have a potential anywhere between 70 to 90, and his two best attributes are work rate and aggression, and he always wants a centre back that's got good work rate, constantly pressing the opposition and putting in 100%, and Gvardiol is definitely a young prospect worth signing. And those are 10 centre backs worth signing in Soccer Manager 2022. I mean, these centre backs are affordable and most of them are relatively young with great potential and would be a great addition to any squad. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.